Welcome back, everybody, to Round 5 Commentary with your boy Sparky. I'm here with my boy Victor. How we doing today, Victor?
I'm doing all right, handsome. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. As the people may have noticed, we skipped yesterday and we have Round 4 today because there was a pre-release this past weekend with the Final Fantasy 6 coming out. So we didn't have enough people to go 5 rounds. But luckily, we got Ryan on Blue Red Storm and Jackson on 80 card pile, Victor. A man after your own heart.
Yeah, the bird is missed dearly. I'm glad I didn't buy the shirt though, because that would have been really awkward. Um, but yeah, this is just something that Jackson always once in a while just pulls out 80 cards, and hats off to him because I really just don't know if there's enough payoff anymore. Compared to when Urion was your companion. But listen, Omnath is still decent. Maybe it's not tier one, but it can still get there.
It's tier 1 in most of our hearts. I'll say that. And
Definitely in mine.
Jackson has been a madman for quite a long time, playing just some amalgamation of like all his favorite cards in the format, and I really can't blame him. Like he's being him, and that's why we love him. Both players are mulliganing to 6 here. I gotta say, I do kind of know the future. I was the man on the cam for this Friday, but it is hard to beat the Storm deck when you're playing an 80 card pile.
Yeah, I mean, not knowing his list, I'm going to assume that there are some counter spells and some consigned main deck, which does help the matchup a little bit, but that means you got to see him.
No, 100%. And I will say, to his detriment, Ryan did kind of hurt himself by adding all these blue cards. When you have all these cantrips and stuff, you don't have a lot of things that meticulously just go with what your combo is trying to normally do, which is what you see the mono red versions do with a lot of the Ren's resolves and the redundant copies and the extra like the fact that you just have mana for all of your spells with just running one color makes the deck more streamlined. And I do feel like some of these blue spells, while they may not really hurt him, they kind of shoot him in the foot.
Yeah, it seems like anytime I've ever seen the storm decks and you have more of these slower blue spells that are just setting up the future turns, I always kind of sit there and wonder, is that doing enough to help you? Because it seems like you're just slowing yourself down enough to give your opponent more time to be able to deal with it. Because again, none of these things are counter spells, right? So it's not like it's defense on the stack, which every card drawn, your opponent's maybe a little bit closer to getting to it. So I'll be interested to see how the blue spells play out for him.
Yeah, I mean, he has Serum Visions and Preordains in the deck. And you can see he's got the Sink into Stupor as a way to have a land and also have a quote-unquote answer spell to any problems that he might run across. But I think the lethality of just the mono red version and the fact that it's just faster and a little bit more resilient is kind of what I enjoy out of that version of the deck. I mean, I've seen them go. That was Spell Snare that got played.
No. What does he draw? The white border? First of all, white border is hideous.
The white border, I believe, is Counterspell.
Oh my god. That's a counterspell art?
Jackson's just out here making us all hurt and kind of hates us. But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting that Ryan's coming with a build. Ryan's one of our local brewers that likes to come with something fun, not so much something competitive. So I like his take. I like him. I like what he tried. I think more of a Gifts Ungiven version may have been better, like how Storm was before MH3 came out. But again, I think if you're going to try and take down a tournament or go to a local RCQ, I think the mono red or the red white ones that are just splashing or the red green ones that are just splashing are a little bit better because they're a little bit more streamlined.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen too many Storm decks, so I'm not exactly familiar with what works best for them. I have to assume that maybe a white splash is better. But again, I don't know, and I'm
So
taking a shot in the dark about what
as
would be better there.
the local metagame mentor, the white splash is mostly for silences, Orm's Chance, and prismatic endings. The green splash would be for Veil of Summer or Questing Druid or random artifact enchantment heat.
So then, if that's the case, I'd rather play the white version because to me, an Orm's Chant is better than a Veil of Summer anyway.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like, there's parts of where you can just bring it in, and then parts where you can like just wish for it on a turn and be like, oh, I'm just going to silence you and then go off.
That seemed like an early flip, but I could be wrong.
I would like to not resolve.
I think I think because he's got another one in his hand, he just kind of wants to get the thing going. So apparently this list took first place at Axiom Now Mega Modern, going 10-1 on May 17th, with the 4 Preordains, the 4 Serum Visions, a Grape Shot main with 3 Synchronous Dupers.
Okay.
And it's got like a whole bunch of 1-ups in the sideboard with like a Chalice the Void, Into the Flood Maw, Noxious Revival, Artist Talent, Defense Grid, a bunch of just like wish targets. So like you're never really going to sideboard. You're just going to shuffle the same 60 and just like keep running whatever your gambit is. So that's what this looks like. Brian here in the tank, I think debating on if he's going to be casting spells here or what he wants to do with the flip. I think he just didn't want to lose one of the Rowls, just like he doesn't want to lose this wish.
Yeah, well, if you don't have a what's the card? If you don't have a medallion, the Row becomes a conditional. I did think it was a little premature for Ryan to flip the first one, to eat that, because you flipped and then Jackson uses the counter spell to get rid of the Ren's Resolve. So yeah. I'm not sure if that was as beneficial as it needed to be.
Not a lot, I hope.
Yeah, and you can see him thumbing through a lot of his cards there for what he might want.
So we go 3. Number 1. We can play that. It doesn't do anything. We can play that. But also really doesn't.
All right, I apologize for everyone at home. I lost connection there really quick as far as the video feed's concerned. So we're back.
I don't think the video is frozen. I just think they were just sitting there like not talking.
Oh no, for me it was definitely frozen because luckily there's a timer at the top and that was not moving. So
got it. I'll see if I can do.
I am live in color. I am back.
I think he just. It seems like Ryan had just passed the turn. Leaving the Wish in exile, which I'm not quite sure what that does for what he's trying to do, because like the number of wishes you have is going to be finite, and it looks like he only has 2 in the deck, with 3 Past in Flames main. If it's this list again, so
I mean, 1 wish is probably more than enough anyway.
Yeah. You see, look at his other counterspell.
Oh, does he have different?
He's got the Mystical Archive.
Oh my goodness, he's got 1 of every art. I'm gonna throw up everywhere. I'm gonna have a violent reaction.
I believe.
Maybe he'll draw a Leyland of the Guild Pack next, and I can really just absolutely just fall over.
Jackson looks like he's got Counterspell, and I think it was Teferi, Hero Dominaria in his hands. And then Ryan, I believe, had Ral and Ritual. And he adds another fetch here. So, I mean, Jackson's slowly starting to drag him down to the deep waters, trying to get him to, I guess, drown.
Brutal.
I think we play that land, though. I know there's a Thundering Falls already in play, but I think we just thin our deck with the land. like trying to make it so it's less likely we're going to hit more land drops.
Making it work for going through all
I don't disagree. I mean,
However, Integral in hand for this place.
having to. I mean, let's say this: Jackson did see the right side of his deck, right? You
Oh,
saw
no, yeah,
what
100%.
two counter spells, the prismatic. You know,
He also
so
had the
that definitely
discharge for the
helps.
first route. Yeah, he
Oh
had a
yeah,
spell
and saw the
stare
discharge as well.
for the ruby.
Uh,
He's taking a long read on this Otawara.
Yeah, I think you bid it because your plan here is you're gonna go to fairy plus untap, have counterspell open, which you can't get much better than that.
So
far
I
as,
almost I'm looking right now. Red, white. I almost would have liked him keeping it on top because he could have gotten Flage into play. He could have like played the Otawara as his 6th land and played Flage and left counterspell up and like just started going on the offensive. Here he is kind of giving himself card advantage, but he's also like not putting a threat into play that's making Ryan think about how Ryan's going to get out of this.
yeah, I mean, even knowing the cards, I still like having the Teferi come down. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I think
and there's
when
also.
you're,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think with Omnath, you have to remember too, because it's not a hard control deck. There is going to be that point in time, but I think getting to fairy on board, having the the mana refund can be really important here because actually now what Jackson can do is he can. I don't think he drew a land, but he also didn't plus his to fairy yet. So if he draws, I don't know,
He
that
has
might be a
land
land
in
in. Yeah. So this Ren and 6 is free, which means that now he can have Ren and 6 and Otawara up as well, which is sometimes just as good. So I don't mind where Jackson ended up. I don't think maybe either play is wrong. Oh, he's just gonna go with the he's just gonna go the Omnath route, which is fine too. It does make him commit though to not having Otawara up this turn, which
he doesn't have
might be a misplay.
Or no, Otawara's still there. I mean, I think he can get there if he uses the mana. No, he can't because he played his land. No, he gets to untap. So he can use the floating mana from Omnath to play the Ren and 6, put a land into play untapped, and then untap 2 blue sources, and then have Otawara in case there's a big issue.
Not that one, but sure. Yes. Make Warburg.
Yeah. What I also just realized he could have done is he could have also put Flage into because you need the Ren and 6 to get the Otawara back. So never mind. My idea is terrible, and that's okay. Oh, he's just gonna escape Flage. Okay.
Yes. 3, 4.
So like this is the one where like his shields are down here, and he's basically giving Ryan like the full egress of the turn to just do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a fan of that. He's definitely gonna leave up some some combination of double blue, just to make Ryan think about it.
You gotta put the fear in them, but like also if Ryan just has it here, he has to jam it because like there's 9, 13, like he's dead. Like an attack step just kills him. This is why I almost would have liked the play in reverse from Jackson, where he starts with the Flage, has the counter backup, and then like if Ryan in his previous turn just like played a bunch of stuff, he could have used the Teferi tick down to tuck the medallion, and then use the Flage to deal with the Ral if the Ral got played in the previous turn.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, again, I think you end up almost at the same thing if you don't play it this way. I don't agree with ending up in this step. This line should have committed to having Ren and 6 and Otawara in hand.
No, I agree. I don't think we're playing the Flage in that spot and just leaving ourselves completely open to whatever happens.
I do appreciate that Jackson did leave up the white, which is relevant because you could sometimes when you're playing these 80 card lists, just because I've seen a lot of people post them, No More Lies is pretty decent just because it's less color restrictive on the deck, which can be huge.
Are you desperate?
I am.
All right, so he's gonna go for
and here's
ran
the exact,
into the.
here's the exact like your opponent did not counter it, so we're just in it with all.
That is 3 or 4 spells, so flipping him does not.
I mean, there's no mana floating though, so this is just a value Ren's Resolve.
Yeah. This is also why if Ryan had played the land that's currently in his hand previously, he would have been okay. Like that's kind of why in these combo decks, especially ones that are mana hungry, you have to play your lands. You can't like sandbag cards. Because representing a mana there, maybe you get a counter spell out of somebody, maybe you don't. There's a lot of ifs and or buts that could have happened, but unfortunately, the Ren's Resolve didn't get him anything.
And didn't fetch beforehand because I needed to keep the passive planes there, and I gave myself the out of ritual and random other to get there.
I think Ryan. It sounds like he's realized it a little bit there.
Well, I think what he's saying is he could have. I don't think he played a land that turn, so he could have fetched for another Steam Vents, and he needed to hit Ritual Past in Flames. But I don't. Ritual Past in Flames doesn't. He doesn't have any zeros, so like he wouldn't have been able to do anything. I don't think so. I don't think in that spot because he used all of his mana.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, as someone who watches more anime than I do, what are we looking at here on the show? This isn't even anime related, is it? Is this just a bunch of cats with like a Western theme on his shirt here? I just see a revolver like right above Tom there.
Yeah, right
Tom
here.
Petty.
Yeah, so Tom Petty. Yeah, there's a revolver. I'm not sure what his shirt is. It could be like a hero. Maybe it's a hero from like League of Legends. Is he a big League guy?
No, it's not League of Legends.
I don't know.
I played it.
And then homie 80 cards got the Direwolf on his shirt, representing for House Stark.
Wait, let me ask you this: is that red sweater underneath him his Star Wars sweater?
Of course it is. It's the only sweatshirt he owns. I jokingly say that we always see him.
I don't know about that. There's really not much video proof that says otherwise. That may be a true statement.
Well, I thought he has the Harvard one as well, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he does have the Harvard one.
Yeah.
For reference, Jackson has never set foot or been near or even considered attending Harvard at any point in time.
I thought he went to Harvard to buy that sweatshirt.
No, I thought he bought it at Target.
Target has
we'll get clarification.
Sweatshirts? There's no way. I don't know the lore.
I promise you, at one point they had a Harvard and
Harvard alumni sweatshirt.
Yeah, they had like these university sweatshirts, which is hilarious because it just didn't make sense why Target would have them. But you know,
for the viewers at home, Jackson boarded in almost all 15 cards in his sideboard.
Sometimes I think he just you know what? I'll say this: Jackson is smart in that he traditionally brings a board for he actively thinks about the room that he's going to be in, which is smart, right? Because your sideboard should be changing based on what you think you're going to see. And you know what? Some people might be like, well, that's not really in the spirit of the deck. And it's like, well, it's exactly in the spirit of the deck. That's what your sideboard's for. You know,
if you're showing up to be the FNM end boss, you better have sideboard cards for everybody you know who's showing up that night.
Yeah. So a lot of times Jackson does utilize his sideboard quite a bit in a correct fashion of just having lots of relevant cards.
That's the next level. You inverted my polarity. Bro, where's your inverter of truth? Why are we not playing inverter of truth Oracle?
The 80 card inverter.
I heard the word inverter of truth and I immediately thought back to 2019's Pioneer and how much
I had so many good times with that deck. And then they banned it.
Good.
The story of my Pioneer career. I play a deck. They banned it. Hey guys, I found this new deck. They banned it.
They banned it. Yeah.
Were you there?
Original Pioneer.
Were you there when I was playing like the Saheeli cat combo deck and there was no red in my deck? It was just Interplanar Beacon. It was a Bant deck with Interplanar Beacon and Oath of Nissa to make mana for Saheeli Ride. The deck was
There are so
bonkers.
many things wrong with that. There's so many things wrong with that.
It was bonkers.
Oh, the Nissa was just too good for that format.
Yeah.
Good to go. You got him.
Still banned to this day on there, right?
I believe so. Jackson kept a one-lander. 80 card deck, he kept a one-lander.
You're not afraid. Come with like 35 lands. You'll be all right. Oh, he's also got to tune the narrative. He'll be all right. A consign? Oh, absolutely. We're good. We got all day.
He's got Consign, he's got Spell Pierce, he's got... I think he's got March of Otherworldly Light.
Absolutely. Send that to the Shadow Realm. Obliterate it. And he top deck the land. Show him the miracle. Show him the miracle.
Let me out of this nightmare.
The man in the booth
Really
forgot to tick down Ryan's life total because that is a fiery islet in play. But I'm sure it'll be corrected.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, I'm sure.
I missed
you
it.
did a great job.
Yeah, I got it on this one.
Okay.
You're like, wait a minute. Just for reference, by the way, just to talk about how potentially powerful Pioneer as a format can be. As a reminder, the following cards, I'm not going to go through all of them. I just want to go over just some heavy hitters that are banned in Pioneer. Feldar Guardian because of the combo, Inverter because of the combo, Leyline of Abundance, Luris, Uro, Jingatha, Underworld Breach, T3, and Oko. Those are some of the most powerful cards that have been printed in Magic's history.
How many of them are green and blue?
Let's see. 1, 2. There's quite a few. Oh, and Once Upon a Time. Forgot about that card, and that card's absolutely bonkers in my mind.
Yeah, by the way, that deck that I played with Bance had Oko, Saheeli Rai, Once Upon a Time, and Teferi Time Raveler in it.
I remember building a Sultai mid-range deck that played both Oko. It played Gilded Goose, Oko, and then 6-mana Garruk as like a top end. And I just remember playing that deck and saying to myself, this is not correct. This can't be a deck that exists in Standard. It was borderline modern playable.
Did you get to play with Wicked Wolf at that time? Wicked Wolf was the most disgusting card ever. It was better than Flametongue Kavu.
Let me double check that one. Is that the 4-mana one or no?
It's a 4-mana green spell. It's a 3/3. You can sack a food to give it +1/+1 and indestructible and tap it, but it comes in and fights something when it enters. That thing ate everything that was in play because it was just too
that was a very good card.
Around.
Yeah, with the fight trigger on the stack, just sacrifice a food.
Yeah, you'd kill a 4/4 and my indestructible stays around. It was nuts.
Yeah, that card was very good. Yeah, Throne of Eldraine was an overall mistake. It just was. It's unfortunate because I think if those cards went straight to Modern, it wouldn't have been as bad, and they would have probably added some uniqueness to the Modern format at the time, because I think 2019 was pre-Modern Horizons?
Yes,
that would have been Modern Masters
MH2, I believe. Yeah.
If you would like to show me that somehow, I'd love it. Right?
I wish I remembered the set code for Modern Masters, but it avoids me.
Bro, that's so rude. He never did anything to anybody.
But thanks to our lovely friends at Scryfall. They're not actually our friends, but shout out Scryfall for being
shout out Scryfall for being dope. Just a heads up to the viewers at home, Jackson hit his 3rd land drop.
Amazing.
And March of Otherworldly lighted a Ral with a Ral trigger on the stack.
Sure is.
Absolutely wild.
And he hit his 4th.
And he hits the 4th one. I'm gonna throw up.
His hand is Counterspell, Spell Pierce, Consign, and Prismatic Ending.
13.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan's gonna be able to combo off.
No. I think this is the only time where I disagree with what land I think Jackson finds. Because
should be a green red land.
Well, I think it needs to be a red land in case he finds a Flage. But I'm not sure if he has green red in his deck.
With 80 cards, you should have one of every color at that point, or at least the
I
tri-land.
think he finds Lush Portico because he wants the white, but the red is more important for what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're cutting yourself off a Flage Escape, man. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I would hope that he had Stomping Ground or Commercial District, one of them, at least one of them, or both. Who knows? But
I would like to keep that on top.
I honestly think that his hand is fine, and he doesn't need to like keep trying to shape his hand. That card's in, I believe, Japanese. In case you're wondering what it is, it's Whirlwind Denial.
oh my god, he had Whirlwind in the sideboard too. He really did not want
4 Whirlwind Denials in his sideboard.
Look at this.
I mean, hey, listen, awesome to get that card to go off, but
he's got the consigns in the main deck. Yeah, so for the viewer at home, Whirlwind Denial, for each spell and ability your opponent controls, counter it unless the controller pays 4 mana. So he puts the Storm Trigger, puts the spells on the stack. Goodbye.
He's not drawing lands anymore. I'm gonna outland him. Let's bet you.
Is not what happened that turn for
The original flavor text of that card, by the way, is amazing. It's just no, and no.
Questions, are we out of bets?
Yes, very good.
God, I hope.
Very good card from, I believe that was Theros?
Arrows Beyond Death, yep.
Yeah.
It's rude. You're trying to say
I forgot, what was in Theros that needed that?
It'd be fun.
Would it be fun though?
For me.
Oh my god.
Can't remember.
Go.
Nice. Draw. Sick.
So viewers at home, Jackson drew his 5th land, but decided to keep it in hand because it's a Boseiju. Boseiju. He wants to keep that up for any pesky rubies that he comes across. But I think at this point he kind of just needs to play lands here because he would discard the hand size.
Go.
That hand is crazy. I actually don't know how Ryan fights through that.
It's got 2 counterspells, Whirlwind Denial, Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, Consign, and a Prismatic Ending.
And like, here's the thing. Eventually, Ryan's going to get to a point too where if he's drawing spells but he can't go off yet, eventually he might have to play a Medallion or a Ral just so he doesn't have to discard, which is perfect for Jackson because Jackson can at that point be like, yeah, sure, I'll just counter the next thing if you try to go off this turn and then kill the Ral, kill the Medallion. It's going to be a lot of work for Ryan to get out of this.
So of note for the viewers at home, the lands that are fetchable are an island, a mountain, 2 steam vents, and a Thundering Falls. And if you look at the lands that he has an island, a mountain, 2 steam vents, and a Thundering Falls. So no fetch lands Ryan plays are going to find any lands in his deck.
Discard.
Oof. You know what I love right there? Because I know people, people watching this video will not be able to see you frantically use your cursor to show that off. We got to get you just like how they have it at Fox Sports, where you can use a pen and start making yellows and all that fun stuff.
Make the marks. Yeah.
Just do your best John Madden impression. Now here's a guy, or no, that's Chris Collinsworth. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Here's a guy who runs his card right into counterspell.
I mean, like I said, you're gonna have to almost do that just because you're gonna be stuck trying to discard these cards eventually.
No, but what I'm saying is, I think that he probably should have played his he's got a Sulphurous Springs, a Sinking Stupor that he could have played as a land that he's just holding in his hand for some reason. These are the spells you should be playing. The Reckless Impulses that give you until the next turn. Those are the kind of cards you should play during your turn to give you more quote-unquote theoretical cards in hand to hopefully get to the critical mass turn that's going to allow you to break your opponent's back after they've been playing Drago for a few turns.
Would you like to cast another Impulse?
It looks like Ryan has a Wish of relevance. Wish, Past in Flames, Grape Shot, Sinking Stupor, and then a couple lands in hand. Notably fetches that he can't do anything with. So, with the Sinking Stupor where it's at, I think playing the Springs is smart. He also has a Ritual.
How many Arms Chants are in your hands?
0.
That's a good question to ask your opponent who's got white. How many Arms Chants are you representing?
Perfectly understandable.
Jackson, move to discard. Discards Galvanic Discharge.
You know what?
Ooh, and Ryan draws the Ral.
Happens here. That's where we're at.
Yeah, I think I would have rathered
Be okay.
the Omnath get discarded. You're not casting that anytime soon if you're on this whole control game plan of I'm going to just wait out everything.
I want to pause you for a second. This is an interesting line that he takes. He does not splice onto Arcane here, which I would have played the one from Exile and spliced for 3 total mana.
I thought you had to splice. The card has to be in your hand to splice it.
Yes, but he's casting the ritual from his hand.
Yeah,
if he
okay,
cast the one that was in
one.
Exile, yeah, because now he could respond and keep some of these instants going
Can't believe this.
and try and flip in response to the discharge.
Yeah, well, I think what he could have also done is he could have. Yeah, because I think when you splice, you're just revealing as part of the cast. So once it's already on the stack, that part's over. So you would have had another ritual. So
Yes,
I mean, he's kind of doing it, but it's just what it's 1 less mana in
I
doing
believe
so,
so.
2 less because of the reduction.
yes. So instead of 4 mana for cast splice, it's 3 mana. It basically becomes a better than Seething Song because you get 6 out of it. Ironically, Ryan doesn't cast Sink into Stupor, while Jackson has only 1 Rambana available. This is the thing that I was trying to get at before when he found the Lush Portico. Like he kind of like cut himself off of red for the greater portion of this game with the way that he fetched his
Yeah.
food. I'm not sure if he has triomes or anything, but I think I would have maybe tried to find a triome a little earlier. Maybe instead of that Lush Portico. But Jackson,
I mean, he could consign replicating, getting rid of the 2 row triggers.
I think this is bigger. Because I think he might try and whirlwind tonight.
Targeting the rail trigger from that desperate ritual.
Oh, okay. I think he's gonna try to. He's gonna bait Ryan. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. He's baiting Ryan into, hey, if you want to, you have to put another spell on the stack and then snipe everything.
Yeah, and then he can snipe it with the whirlwind denial. And I mean, not for nothing, with the Past in Flames, this is where knowing that you can splice onto Arcane and how splice on Arcane works, specifically for Storm matchups or Belcher matchups and stuff like that. Having more mana at a later point would allow him to cast these Past in Flames without reducers and potentially allow him to dig his way out of this.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge. This was actually a pretty decent setup by Jackson.
No, this is 4D chess, and Jackson has the checkmate with the Whirlwind Denial.
I would like for you to pay 4 mana for each of your spells and abilities on the stack, or else they get countered.
This is me. Yeah, I'm in the booth explaining to him what the spell does.
Perfectly fine, honestly. Alright, sure. So you counter this. There's still a round trigger that has to resolve here, right?
No, it gets countered.
Oh, it's the ability.
It's spells and
I don't know what the card.
Someone should get that poor guy an English version of the card.
Jackson wanted to be
Okay, so
cool.
these are all done. That's basically what's
Of course he did.
Yeah. So all the spells and abilities are countered, and then the discharge will resolve, killing the Ral.
Deal 3.
And now we've sat through a bunch of players eating cards up from their hand.
Play it on this turn. I like to go 2 and pass the turn.
For reference,
I mean-
spell that can counter your fiery highlight activation.
Not for nothing, Ryan has Past in Flames and then a bunch of spells in his yard right now. So Jackson still has to be wary, even though he thinks he chewed through a lot of Ryan's cards.
Very similar.
Yeah, especially with the amount of mana available and the setup card. Yeah, this is not over by any stretch of the means. That was a good turn. It did not deplete Ryan of enough for that to be
Hey, look what's here.
Here we don't go again.
unbelievable.
Rude, sir. What cards in hand after that, right?
Yep.
Jackson slowly whittling down from that 7-card grip he had. 4 mana.
Yeah, really needs a Wren to be able to, because missing these land drops was not ideal.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, this is ooh, that's so dirty. A dirty spell pierce with no lands. You gotta either pay. I mean, if he pays for it, what's gonna happen? He can't cast anything. But I think at this point, it's safe to say Jax is probably gonna win this match. And there's a special reason why we have Jackson in our round 4 match. There's a special reason we waited to Friday to upload this. It is with a heavy heart that we say Jackson is leaving us and going on to a better place. This sounded very morose. I'm sorry that Jackson has got a job and he's moving to a different country. So he will no longer be on camera anymore. And it was my pleasure to feature him twice this past week, playing the deck he loves, hanging out with the friends, jamming cards with the boys. Jackson, I want you to know this community loves you. We appreciate you for everything you've done. And you'll always have a place here when you come back from London.
No, excellently well said, Sparky. I mean, I think Jackson started playing Magic around 2018, 2019.
I want to say it was like Ixalan. Ixalan block is what I remember because he signed some
yes, because he played
Wild
the
Growth
Command the
Walkers and
Dreadhorde.
Jade Light Rangers for me. He back in the day when he was playing green black, basically mid range, and he cut his teeth playing that deck, kicking my ass week in and week out.
Yeah,
and I couldn't be happier to see the person that he's become over the last couple of years, and the things he's decided to do with his life, with all his work that he's put into various projects, and what he's tried to bring to the community through us and helping us out. He's going to be sorely missed as our accountant. I think he'll be doing that as a sidekick.
Yeah, really. Do we have to charge international rates for that? It's probably
no. He's gonna keep the same rate. I think we're gonna have to talk to him about that. But
oh,
hopefully he fetches a red land here. No, he definitely couldn't. But again, great times being around Jackson. For all the people who've met him and all the people who've hung out with him, know that he's a really chill dude. Loves a good hang session. Loves talking Magic. Loves just hanging out and being part of the group. And we appreciate him more than I think he'll ever know.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and again, we met. So 2017, 2018, we'll move it back a couple of years. So, it's been a long time. And if you think about it, one, it was very sad to hear the news. I commend Jackson he's always been someone who's been independent. And I admire that because I can't do that. I live 10 minutes from both my in-laws and my parents. Like I don't, I'm good with being close to family, and to move to another country and just kind of, be able to say I can do this and be on my own. That is that's awesome. And I'm so happy, and, getting to grow up with him has been such a privilege that, I've gotten to be a part of. So I feel very lucky for that. And I'm, devastated to see him go. But I'm excited for the next chapter in his life. I know he'll succeed because he's just determined like that. So I am usually, sometimes when people make big decisions like this, I'm a little afraid for them. For Jackson, I feel no fear. I know how he is. As long as he's not trying to direct you around Hoboken, New Jersey, it's usually fine anyway. So
you won that RCQ. Don't worry about it.
Second, but it's okay.
On the second try, that's right.
Yeah. But, and one thing I do kind of want to highlight here, and I think it's something that, really hit me, and I really thought about it, and, being grateful for what this game is. And even though we'll still be able to talk to Jackson, whenever someone's not going to be physically around, it's just not the same. It's never the same feeling when someone's in that room with you and you're having these laughs and you're doing all this other stuff. And, a lot of times when you go play Magic, you're going to play FNM, sometimes you're going and you're playing, right? And I think, as a reminder for everyone, especially when, a close friend is moving away and isn't going to be around to play these events, it's like, take a minute in between rounds to really appreciate who's there and the kind of live in that moment a little bit, because you never know. You could stop playing. Maybe something happens in your life where you're not able to play anymore, which is always unfortunate. Maybe you move. You never know when things are going to change, and I think that Magic as a whole is such a net positive for a lot of people, and I think it becomes even better when you have a moment like this where it puts into perspective what is important is that the Magic isn't in the cardboard, it's absolutely in the gathering.
Yeah, the gathering is the friends we made along the way, baby.
So Jackson,
it's that secret sauce.
You will be missed, buddy. I know we'll get to see you tomorrow, so we'll probably have some other stuff to say. But I hope everyone that's gotten to watch your content and just ingest a little bit of those wild decks that you're always showing up with have.
There's also a possibility where he's not going to be gone from the channel at all if we do some Moto uploads. I know he's been getting heavy into the Moto space, and he has some amount of downtime possibly when he's over across the sea. He might be doing some Moto content with maybe a little commentary from me or you in the back burner, talking about some of his games and matches, interesting stuff that he's doing. So, not gone forever. It's not goodbye. It's see you soon. And like you said, it's like be in the moment when you're having fun at your FNMs and even at your RCQs or whatever you're going through or doing or playing, because you never know, man. And again, like I said, we're all happy for him. It's going to be great for him. Like this change, the cojones on this guy to just pick up from one country and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys later." That it's
incredible.
It's crazy.
I couldn't do it.
I don't think I could do it. I think if I put myself to it hard enough and like, I mean, he's a world explorer. He's gone to Europe a few times. I know he's made trips to Iceland, Greenland, stuff like that. He's been to England before. I think he's done some trips around Europe. He's a world traveler. He's our Aragon. He's just gone. He's Strider. He's just like out in the wilderness, enjoying himself. But again, will be missed. His presence will be felt. I'm again couldn't be happier. And I mean, his last FNM brings his 80 card pile. As you could see, viewer at home, he's pretty much taking this one down as we speak. I don't think there's much Ryan can do here in this situation. I think he's pretty much just stonewalled with like 2 mana spells. He's got to not brick off this Metamorphose.
That's going to be tough. His hand is so light with anything of relevance that it's like. I mean, I appreciate that he's repping it right now.
Yeah, I didn't even see his draw, but he's counting mana. He's gonna make us think he's got it.
Setting up his cruel ultimatum mana.
Ooh, he got a preordain. There could be life in this. This dog could eat.
That's not bad. That's a Ral, but he's got a Ral
resolve. He's gonna resolve.
No, it's just resolve. Oh no, okay, there is a Ren's resolve maybe, or to tell.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He went for the Ren's resolve first, so he can flip the Ral and then.
Oh,
Mystical Dispute. This might not be over just yet.
There's nothing he can dispute though. Like he needs to Ral and then flip it, but he can't do anything with the flip. Like if he flips Ral with this Pyretic, we've only played 3 instants of sorceries. It'll be 4. You need 6 in order for it to ultimate. So.
Do we do anything else here? Play that.
Unforge.
Do something tricksy-ish. It still doesn't do.
I don't, and I mean, I kind of know how Jackson sideboarded because we kind of talked about it beforehand. But like, there's no Solitudes left in his deck for the lethal 7. Oh,
yeah, that's rough not to have.
You gotta, you're gonna put me to 3. Jackson draws. I think it was 2 in the narrative.
Notably, oh no, he did it. Yeah, that's right. He got the Thundering Falls. All right. Oh, there you go.
Go to 3.
Does he have a Flage's yard?
You got a lot of cards. I don't think Flage is one of them, though. No.
Set those up, folks.
Ryan draws Desperate Ritual. That's it.
1, 2.
Yeah, you would just be spinning the wheels. There's nothing. He can't pull anything out of that.
I'll play Ralph.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're just using Ral as a blocker. Oh! There goes your blocker, son. Drew all of the counter spells in his deck.
Now try and dispute it.
Okay.
That would make me ill. If I was in Ryan's situation, knowing my opponent's playing 80 cards,
Ryan's gonna lose. Ryan's gonna lose the dispute anyway. So.
No, I know, but it would just make me physically ill to be like, you know,
Yeah.
80 cards. I mean, he did draw a lot, but you know, hey,
Dude,
sometimes you just gotta
to me.
play it.
Jackson did that to me. I was playing Goryo's. He has 2 surgical extractions in his 80 card deck. End of his first turn, I crack a fetch, put a Trax in the yard, and he surgicals it.
Serves you right. I feel no remorse for that.
Shut up. Shut up. It's one of our shorts. You shut up. I still hate Jackson a little bit for it, but oh, that was so disgusting. So disgusting.
I don't know.
Absolutely disgusting.
I think he's just showing his sideboard here, but he brought in
Prismatic Ending. March.
he brought in so many cards. It was just disgusting. And I think Brian was like, same 60, run it back.
Final one, yeah.
I don't think
Love to
there's
see
another
it.
way I could sequence there is the problem. The turn we
Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell. And if you'd like to support us, you could find us at our Bonfire store.
And a huge thank you to our sponsors, Nova Games and Brick, for hosting us for FNM. And please make sure to use our Mana Traders coupon code OCHM at signup for 25% off your third month.
I've been Sparky. Say goodbye, Victor.
Goodbye, Victor.